Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. My name is Sagar. In this video, we will deploy Kubernetes cluster into Azure using AZCLI and Cloud Shell in just 60 seconds. Assuming you are familiar with the concepts behind Kubernetes, this tutorial demonstrates how to create AKS deployment using very simple CLI commands. So without any further delay, let's get into the action. The first step is to create a resource group named sagar_rg under the location East US. I'm going to execute this step in Azure Cloud Shell. Alright, so this step is done. In second step, we will deploy AKS cluster using az AKS create command. This step will create service principal for you as well. The service principal is required to interact with Azure APIs. In order for this step to succeed, you must have permissions to register an application with your Azure AD tenant and to assign the application to a role in your subscription. So let's take this command and execute it in the Cloud Shell. So this AZAKS create command will use the resource group named sagar_rg and will create the AKS cluster with the name sagar_kts. I've specified node count as 2, so this will be the agent nodes with the 2 VMs, and the VM size is going to be standard B2S. I'm going to now execute this command. Right, so the execution has started. This process usually takes a couple of minutes, so I'm going to pause this video at this point of time and we'll come back once the deployment is complete. All right, so the command is succeeded now and the sagar kts aks cluster is created. Let's head back into the Azure portal and see what does it show. So this is the resource group under which the AKS cluster is available, which is with the name sagar kts, and it did in turn created another resource group where all the resources related to this KTS are provisioned. So as you can see, this one has a load balancer, NSGs, one public IP address attached to it, and virtual machine scale set. If we go under this, you will see two instances of VM that we deployed based on the AKS create command. So these are the two AKS agent nodes. So let's see how we can get access to this Kubernetes cluster. In third step, we'll try to get access to this cluster locally so that we can do some kubectl commands with this. In order to do that, we'll have to execute this azaks get credentials command. I'm going to copy this command to run this in the Cloud Shell. Okay, I'm going to execute this now. Since I had already done this once, it's asking me to if I want to override this, and I'm going to say yes here. The same thing for this. All right, so I do have my configuration of AKS in my home directory right now. So let's get into the next steps. All right, so let's try to execute the Kubernetes dashboard by running this azaks command and see what does it show. To execute this command, azaks browse to this AKS cluster. Right, and it will create a session and in browser it will open this Kubernetes dashboard. All right, so we do see this Kubernetes dashboard right now, but it does have some error with it, which are related to the permissions. By default, the Kubernetes dashboard is deployed with minimal read access and displays all these RBAC access errors. AKS cluster uses role-based access control, and a cluster binding must be created before you can correctly access the dashboard. Otherwise, dashboard is going to show these insufficient permission errors or the forbidden errors. Let's now create the cluster binding and reopen this dashboard. I'm going to close this session for now by doing Control C, and the tunnel will be closed right now. And let's execute the cluster binding command. Alright, so the cluster binding is now created. We will reopen the browser now. Great. Now we don't see any of those errors right now. As you can see, this Kubernetes dashboard displays all the things that AKS cluster has, whatever things we have deployed in our AKS clusters. This completes the deployment of Kubernetes cluster in Azure. In next video, we will deploy app onto this cluster and play around with various features of this Kubernetes. Thank you for watching this video.